Hello everybody and welcome to O.P.S, nothing to do with Call of Duty Black Ops, so if you're here for that you've attended the wrong lecture. Anyway, I am your professor today, Mr. Onion Gravy 64, otherwise known as Daniel. I am quite cordial in that manner, and I've been asked many a time about Pokemon, about how do I start it, what do I do, I don't know anything, can you help me? And for a long time I just said, well, there's so many sources in the world to go to, just have a look. But I thought I'd make a more personal touch this time, and we're going to start with the number one section that people get confused by is definitely for sure going to be tiers. Tiers, just to quickly explain here, tiers, when you look at them on the Smogon tiering system, could be a very daunting thing. As you can see with this graphic, this was taken straight from the website. But what are they first? Tiers are basically ways of getting a group of Pokemon that are similar in usage potential and putting them together in order to try and create a balanced metagame. That was all quite a lot of words, so I'll explain it using pictures. This is a Dialga. It's a very powerful Pokemon. If you put it in a lower tier, it would be classified as broken. It is in the top tier, known as the Uber tier. Using this other example, it's a Staryu. Staryu is a not fully evolved Pokemon, but instead of finding it in an FE, it's in Little Cup. Confused? Well, I'll quickly explain this for you. Not fully evolved Pokemon are usually Pokemon in the middle stage of their evolution. So for example, if we had a Poliwag, the middle evolution would be a Poliwhirl, Poliwag would be in Little Cup, and Poliwhirl would be in an NFE category. I hope that's covered it for you. But nevertheless, people are still going to be confused. So what I came up with was the Klinklang tier model, otherwise known as the KTM, because Klinklang is a name that you can constantly say incorrectly, so we'll go by the abbreviation. Basically, it's a 3-tier system to try and get you into the right sort of tier for you. The first section in green is about the competitive aspect of it. Do you want to do it initially for a bit of fun, or are you going to go in straight away and try and be as competitive as possible? The second section in the sort of bluey purple is a choice of 3. Do you want your metagame to be offensively biased, defensively biased, or kind of a balance in between? And the third, quite amorphous mass-shaped orange section is about the community. Do you want to be in a small tight-knit community with a few people that play the same tier? Or do you want to be in a huge group of people that you probably won't end up knowing many of them, but knowing that you'll have a battle at all times? I put up some examples here. So if you wanted to be in a competitive game, offensive and with large groups, you can go into the Little Cup section, where they are always level 5, unevolved original first state Pokemon. Note that Pokemon that don't evolve are generally not allowed in there. The second example I've got here is fun, but you want it reasonably defensively, and in a small community you can go for the never used category, otherwise known as NU. It has to be said that NU isn't defensive because the people in it want to be defensive, it's just the Pokemon in there are not very good. Very fun to use for my, I enjoy doing it, but they aren't very good Pokemon in there. I thought I'd do 2 more. If you like a competitive place, with it being reasonably balanced, and I say reasonably because it's all relative compared to other metagames, and you want large gatherings so you always have a battle, going into overused, or OU as it's shortened to, is definitely the tier for you. It is definitely the tier that you'll get the most battles for by probably quite a long way. The final choice is a bit more obscure. If you want fun, you want it to be really offensive, but there'll only be a small community for it, you can either go for Ubers, which is the top tier, or go for Little Ubers. Little Ubers is Ubers but at a level 5, and the lower the level the higher damage is done relative. So for example, if you had a situation where a Mewtwo was hitting a Kyogre with Psychic at level 100 between them and at level 5 between them, the Psychic would do far more at level 5 than level 100. That's just how the mechanics of the game go. Just to quickly explain what the word standard means, usually it classifies standard as OU level 100. So if you're on, for example, Pokemon Showdown, that is what people will translate standard as being. It isn't always the case though, and a rare circumstance I've included was if you're on the Wii and playing Pokemon Battle Revolution, standard does not mean OU level 100, it means OU level 50. because almost everything is rounded to level 50 in that game. So do be aware that people can mean different things to you. So in summary, if you're planning on playing competitively for the first time, you might have played the game as a kid and in game a lot, or maybe you just weren't interested or didn't know about the competitive battling situation. Don't be daunted, because you probably will be a bit confused at first and ask very poor questions, but do ask questions, because at the end of the day that's the way you're going to learn the quickest. And always remember, it is a game, we all have to start from somewhere, and don't be embarrassed. This is a short lesson because it's quite a short topic. The next lesson will be on basic team building techniques. I hope to see you then. Class dismissed.
If you enjoyed the video you've just seen, please join my Facebook group and follow me on Twitter for the latest news.